We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Hello, Mavs fans. Kirk and Josh together in the same room.
We are different people. Now people can finally know that we're different. We're different people with our own thoughts and our own brains and our own separate opinions.
It's very nice. So we're recording from my is this thing even in the middle?
Yeah, we're close.
Look, man. Look.
What do the comments say? Can you hear? Can everyone hear us?
Yeah, I don't. And if you can't hear us, too bad. We're having a great time. Oh my God, Dallas Mavericks just won Game 6, 117 to 116, in one of the most stressful group environments that I have watched a game in my entire life. I can't really stress this properly. So Josh and I are here together. Those of you guys know this. I don't understand how this happened. We decided to hold my birthday at the same time tonight as the Mavs game, but this actually happened I don't know, 3 months ago.
Yeah, you planned this, I think, before the Mavericks. The Mavericks were still in the play-in when you planned.
Yeah, they were
like eighth or something.
26 and 23.
Yeah.
It was at the low point. It was right around the time. It was before Nick called for Jason Kidd's firing. But we were all like, what is happening?
It's over. Yeah.
What is happening? So we decided to go ahead and record this thing live. We were at a different location, and then we came back here. So I'm really sorry that we're live, guys. I hope the audio is fine, but I earnestly can't tell. I changed shirts to my He Has Risen shirt because I sweat through my other shirt.
Yeah, Kirk is sweating. Kirk he's fired up. He's got the energy pulse.
I was slamming back different hard seltzers during the course of this game. It was a great time. I'm not really sure how the heck we should even talk about this game.
I feel like there's two. We could try. I mean, I don't know how we can do it, but we could try to talk about the X's and O's part, or maybe we can just try about because we actually were on opposite ends of the space, because you're a social butterfly.
I was talking to everybody.
You're talking to everybody, and I kind of was sitting because I just kind of have to watch, because I was I'm not going to remember any of this if I talk to people, and I was kind of sitting by myself being a hermit crab. So I don't know. There's the X's and O's conversation, which we can try to get into, but there's also the other part where I was watching that game and I was like, how many plays happened in the fourth quarter? I was like, oh, they're going to win. The Kyrie three that bounced in 4 times, the Derrick Jones Jr. fadeaway shot. This was the fated game. Not to take away anything from the Mavericks. We could talk about why they won.
So I just got to tell a story. Yeah. So I was kind of waffling around the room. There's 60 people at my party. It's really nice. Lots of people showed up. Fun time. One of my friends from high school and her husband came, and I'm standing next to them talking, and they're clearly the husband is clearly into the game. But I don't necessarily think he's a hardcore Mavs fan. And Kyrie gets the ball, and I go, he's going to do something silly, was my response. And then that 3 came at the end of a super busted play, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It was at the end of the shot. The shot clock was running down. It was a bad
Somebody got blocked. It ended up in Kyrie's
Rebound.
hands.
Yeah.
He's on the left wing from, honestly, the Luka spot.
Yeah.
And that shot hit every single part of the basket. It hit the scoreboard. It hit and then just falls in. And I remember making a noise like I'm Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, where it's just like, okay, what in the fuck is going on here? And everybody in the room just went nuts.
Our room was going apeshit during that game. It was pretty fun.
Well,
it was also fun to watch you watch a game live for the first time. Kirk is he's making charge calls. Like, he is into it. Like, this is the thing. I just want to get this off my chest because so many people give you so much shit about the Mavs when you say that. This guy clearly loves the Mavericks. He watches this team like his life is on the line. Like, he very much is invested in how this team wins or loses or whatever happens. So, like, it's just very funny that people rag on you like you're rooting for them to lose. And then I'm watching him during the game, watching them giving charge calls and, like, yelling and screaming at Tony Brothers. Like, you are a capital F fan. Like, you still have it.
I mean, while we're here,
still got it.
While we're here, let's just say this with a sense of earnestness.
Yeah.
Fuck Tony Brothers. I mean, that fucking guy was like, you know what? I'm the show. I'm here. I'm Tony Brothers. The people are here to watch me. All right. Let's kind of talk about the game from the get-go, because this game, from a X and O's perspective, the Thunder came out and absolutely rocked it. They were terrifying. They were doing things on offense that I cannot believe they waited until Game 6 to bust out. Shout out to Mark Dagnall, Coach of the Year, waiting until your ass is on the line to do something that involved putting your 7-footer in the dunker spot so that he can dunk the ball. They basically took, and please tell me if I'm wrong here, I feel like they took a lot of actions out of the Mavs playbook and were like, well, we can do this.
Yeah.
And just did it to the Mavericks. Because Daniel Gafford, that poor guy.
Oh, he had no chance.
He got worked like a speed bag. And the Mavericks, when everybody says, it depends on who you want to play, Gafford's going to need to get less minutes than Lively. That's kind of my thought right now before the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I was almost wondering if they lost that game, was Lively going to start Game 7? Because they haven't made a lineup change all playoffs, but that might have been it. But, you know, it was that, and then they had 12 turnovers in the first half. That's more than they average per game. So they had more in one half than they average in an entire game. And it was. I mean, Luka had like 5 or 6 in the first half.
Luka was not.
It was crazy.
Luka was.
His shot was great, but
his shot was great because he was 6 for 7 in the first half at some point.
Yeah,
but he was. They were turning over the ball like mad, and we don't have this offhand because Josh and I are not professionals. But the Thunder did the points off turnovers thing. I feel like they might have had 30 points off turnovers.
They had 27.
27, pretty good guess for a drunk guy.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's a hell of a stat. Anga, I can't even. I don't want to butcher your name, my man. Angam Kang Kong says Gafford was a negative 25. Good thing Lively was a plus 26.
Yeah, it was obvious.
Woo, brother!
And it's pretty clear. Like, you know, Gafford is good at the rim and only at the rim. Mm-hmm. Lively, not saying Lively can switch, but Lively's ability to kind of guard near the free throw line on those drives and contest those floaters. Like, I don't think Gafford can guard in space as well as Lively can.
No,
it just made a big difference. Yeah, at the rim, he's fine at the rim. So yeah, Lively was like these last 3 games. There's so many team and Lively MVP these games. Derek Jones Jr., PJ Watt, they got so much contributions from everyone, and it felt like watching OKC was watching the Mavericks from 2019 to 2021, where it's all Shea and there was nothing. And I don't know about you watching that game, but in the fourth quarter, not to be too blunt, it looked like the Thunder, every Thunder besides Shea looked like they were pissing off.
Oh yeah, no, and Shea stopped passing.
Yeah,
I was standing next to Jordan Brodas, Mavs Moneyball staffer, and he's just he's taking it. He's going with it every time, and it's that's the best play. Yeah. And it was pretty wild to watch. So you watch the first quarter, and the Mavericks played really horribly. I feel like they had 6 turnovers in the first quarter. That sounds right to me. Yeah. The Mavericks, we were like, all right, you know what? They're down 4. It's all right. Everything's going to be fine. Jalen Williams, busted 3.
Yeah.
It was kind of deflating in the room. Second half, Mavericks come back. Mavericks actually get up by 1 in the second half. And yet they win into halftime. This is crazy. The Mavericks were down 64-48 all of those Thunder threes that all the whiny motherfuckers in the media and in the Mavericks or in the Thunder fandom, we're going to start hitting our threes. We're a great 3-point shooting team. Well, they fell for a quarter.
They did.
They fell for a quarter. Congratulations. Hope that quarter was worth telling me that the statistics are more important than the fucking results. Sorry, I'm sauced.
That's okay.
What else? All right, so then the third quarter comes out, and I'm just going to be kind of candid with you. In the third quarter, I sort of started floating around because I was talking to all my people that were in the room, lots of different. Yeah. We probably had 20 different people fly in. It was a lot of fun. Got to watch the game. My high school coach, watching it with my high school coach, was moderately terrifying. I don't know why.
There was a great moment when I can't remember if it was the Luka charge or there was a it was the. I think it was the PJ foul and the dead ball at the very end of the game that gave the Thunder free throws and then the ball back with 27 seconds left. And it happened and it went to review and you were standing in the corner, opposite corner. And I watched this. I just happened to time it. You looked right at him and you were like, and he was like, sorry, it was a foul. He was like, it was a foul. Because you were like looking at him for validation, like, they blew the call, right? And he was like, I think that was a foul.
No, it was.
He trucked through Lou Dort.
He just trucked through him from the sideline. PJ Washington had probably the most no. It's like watching a fantasy football player from your phone when you can't watch the game. You're only getting notifications about what happens. Because PJ was horrendous on offense for most of the game. But then drills a huge three.
Two of them.
2 huge threes. And did he hit all 3 free throws?
Yes. No. 2. Missed, but he missed the third on purpose.
So he killed the big one and then drained the clock that effectively ended the game.
Because he had no timeouts, which was the right play.
Oh, my God. And so you're watching him.
Execution.
He hits those 2 threes. He drives through Lou Dort, which, I mean, and while we're here, guys, on the topic of Lou Dort, fuck that guy, too. And fuck you, Tony Brothers, for not calling the 9,000 fouls that guy got called for. He sat with 5 fouls for how long? I understand this is the NBA, but you cannot molest someone like that guy does. I'm sorry. It drives me crazy.
It is pretty crazy he didn't foul out of it.
Yes.
I don't know how he didn't foul out of it.
I'm sorry. I'm on one right now.
No, it's okay.
This is the nature of podcasting.
I'm looking at a box score on my phone. Like I don't have all my stuff up.
No,
so,
we're
good. Yeah, we're trying to do what we can do.
All right. Guys, we're not at the halfway point of the show, but I'm going to be candid. I got like 25 people in my house now that came over from the other event. I want to go hang out with them. So here's what we're going to do. If you're all here for the first time, please give me and Josh a like on the show. Please subscribe while you're here. We go live after every show. We have at least 4 more games, which we're going to be able to cover. Josh and I could not be we're both pretty tired.
We are.
But I think
I told Megan because she's kind of on the team, just like I want to have my evenings.
That's right.
Because this is tough, she has to handle all the kid stuff when it's game time. And I told her because her birthday is June 20th, and I said, Megan, if they win this next series, there is a decent chance that I'll be covering a Mavericks championship game on your birthday.
Super secret thing, guys. Here we also had to apply for credentials, and I made Josh apply for finals.
He forced me.
Josh has not gone to games in years, but you were at one point in time in your life a regular beat writer. You went to all sorts of stuff. It's just normal. All right, but while you're here, subscribe, like. When the show's over, if you could leave an additional comment on the YouTube, that really helps. We crossed the 3,000 person threshold in subscribers lately. We are really, really grateful for all that. Josh and I are just delighted to continue to do this. There's sometimes that we don't want to do it, I'm not going to lie, but it's the fans and the comments and the emails and those sorts of things why we keep coming back. Audio listeners, thank you so much. There's not going to be a secondary show tonight, guys. Really sorry. I wish there was, but I just, I want to go hang out with some folks that I know. We'll be back probably doing another preview show for whoever we play next because it's really weird that the Mavericks are playing. They finished their series against the Thunder after the Nuggets Minnesota series. They'd already played 2 games.
I know.
Like, what is happening?
No, they're getting so many days off.
They're going to get a lot of days off, which means Luka's knee is going to be super healed.
Yeah,
that's the way science works.
I'm going to be honest. It looked good. Like, he looked physically fine.
He looked great.
Now, he made all his shots. I don't know, the fourth quarter, this game just felt like the Mavericks have 2 superstars and the Thunder have 1. I know it might be reductive, but you're just watching the Thunder, and didn't it feel a little bit like the Mavericks were doing to the Thunder what other teams do to they weren't doubling Shea. They were just like, all right, 1-on-1, can you outscore us?
Good luck to you.
None of the roles, I think Chet obviously had that late oop, but for the most part, what Thunder role players did stuff besides Chet in this game that you felt like? Did you feel when any other Thunder player had the ball besides Shea, were you worried? Like in
the first half, a little bit. Jalen Williams was pretty spicy.
Yeah, but he did some fun stuff.
But he just went away as the game went on. His butthole tightened, and they were not able to do anything. Sorry, Mike. Okay. 3 people at the actual party made a reference to that, where it's like the Thunder are going to pucker up, and that's what happened.
Oh yeah, that was the fourth quarter.
All right, so Josh and I, I'm going to insert some ads here because I'm going to go down and edit the shit out of this podcast and then post the thing. God, I didn't post Xavier's review.
No, Ben got the recap.
Yes,
yeah, recap.
Ben Zadell, superhero, showed up at the and did all the right things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm going to insert some ads. And we're going to be right back. Thank you so much for hanging out at Pod Maverick.
We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search. Match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
With everyone fighting for attention, how can your business stand out and connect with customers? Easy, with Constant Contact. Constant Contact's award-winning marketplace platform has helped millions of small businesses stand out, stay top of mind, and see big results fast. It's okay if you don't know much about marketing. Constant Contact's writing assistant tools and automation features help you craft messaging and say the right things at the right time. I use this to help write and send my email newsletters, and you should too. So get going and start growing your business today with a free trial at ConstantContact.com. Just go to ConstantContact.com right now. Constant Contact, helping the small stand tall. ConstantContact.com.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, we have 15 tips, and I'm going to kind of sort through some people. Shout out to Mike Scott, who says, don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason ever, no matter what, no matter where or who you're with, or where you are going, or where you have been for any reason whatsoever. Happy birthday. Shout out Michael Scott. Appreciate that. Albert Mata, who gives us a tip, says every single player in the closing lineup did their job. Great team performance. That's fantastic. Shout out to Klotzman84, who left us a tip. Our man Henry leaves us another tip, and he says, Kyrie, check in. Kind of hard dealing with the tornado in Houston, Western Conference bound. Man, hope you're safe there, Captain Kyrie. Really appreciate you, Henry. Shout out to Brian, who leaves us a tip and says, D. Jones and PJ need to retire Mavericks with Derek Jones Jr. as an all-time Mavs role player performance in Game 6. Absolutely right. Shout out to our friend Glenn King. Pretty sure Glenn's out in California. Shout out to Eric Rios, who says, and CWAS, I was at the game, and it was an emotional roller coaster. Been listening to you all for years. Thanks for what you do. Let's go Mavs. No, man, thank you. Mike Stasik says, hell yeah, let's go Mavs. So glad Luka didn't get tossed. And I thought Tony Brothers was going to give him that second tech, which would have been game over. Again, can't tell Tony Brothers to go to hell enough. Chris Haley, our man, maybe driving back from the game. He goes to all the playoffs games despite living 4 hours away. I believe halftime Mavs were going to get their way. I believe at halftime Mavs were going to get their way back in the game. Mucha snapshot group I'm in didn't believe, but they're not an MFL like us. Shout out to Che, who says kid decision to play Hardy as a late small forward in the second quarter was truly confusing. My high school coach and I had an active argument about Jaden Hardy.
Oh, I'm curious.
All right, we'll talk about this one. Dubs 1982, shout out for the tip. Glenn Simpson, thank you for the tip. Finally do it. Kid made some great halftime adjustments. He really did. Twan MTBTX with a great tip says, happy birthday, Kirk. And it's so great to have you both together. OKC was not an easy out, but PJ and DJ were huge. Was there been a team ever that added 2 guys in the starting lineup at trade deadline going to the conference finals? What a great question. That's a great question. Marco with the tip saying, great job, guys. Love listening to you. Thank you so much, Marco. And then Jeremy with another tip. Tony Brothers is hot dog water. D. Smith says, rest in peace, Crafty Drysdale. Derek DJ had that mama energy. Derek Jones Jr. was amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Guys, y'all are ridiculous. Thank you so much for all the support tonight. What else do we got going? What else should we talk about?
Derek, you want to talk about Derek Jones Jr. in the last 3 games, averaged more points per game than Jalen Williams? I looked that up right before we started.
Well, that's rude.
Sorry.
No, I like that.
Yeah. 19 to 16 points per game.
Per game?
Derek Jones Jr. averaged 19 points per game in the last 3 games.
Man, are we backing up that Brinks truck? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know what took it. Because for a while it was like, okay, they'll find someone to replace him, right? Like, you can't pay everyone. But now it's like, they kind of got to bring him back, right? I don't know.
Yes.
Or is he going to be their? Is he going to be their Bruce Brown, like the Nuggets?
No, I think you got to. He wasn't even that good on offense tonight, but
he was good on offense tonight.
What was he in the first half?
I don't know.
I feel like he missed everything.
He had 22 points. He had 22 points and he made 4 3-pointers.
22 American points.
Yes.
God, I'm trying to remember when those shots went down.
Well, remember he had that fading at the end of the shot clock, that fadeaway 2-point.
That went up. That put the Mavericks up 115 to 110.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, that was the killer.
Yeah.
Like just such a nonsense shot.
Someone in my mentions was like, that felt like the Jan Mahimi third quarter buzzer beater in the 2011. I was like, isn't that like perfect? Just like
game 6.
Yeah, the clincher game. Like just bullshit shot from a role player you don't expect to hit it.
Everybody, go to YouTube and look up Jan Mahimi.
Yeah, for all the kiddos that don't know what we're talking about.
And also, while you're there, Google Jan Mahimi man in blue robe. He did this bizarre video that I think about at least once a week. So that's where we are. This was just really something. And I'm looking forward to kind of talking about what's next. We got to watch the finals game tomorrow. The Mavs get that extra day of rest. I'm pretty sure the next series of games don't start till
Tuesday, right?
Tuesday or maybe even Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is really exciting. This is all I could have ever hoped for in terms of this particular team. I'm very kind of confused at some of the lineup choices they made, but they won anyways, which really speaks to sort of the resiliency of the team. And really, whoever somebody said Jason Kidd made excellent halftime adjustments. I'm going to need to watch the second half again to understand what those were. But
I don't think Hardy played a lot in the second half.
What else happened? So what happened? What do you think?
More lively, less Hardy. I think their defense. I think it was a good call because so many times coaches get spooked when a player gets cooking like Shea did. They never doubled him. I don't think they doubled him all night, did they? I mean, maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like a concerted effort. And I was thinking in the time, like, some coaches might be like panicking and be like, okay, we got to take the ball out of his hands, let someone else beat us. But they were like, no, that's fine. The only things that Mavericks messed up defensively were some weird switches when the Thunder were running some pick and rolls away from Lively. And Chet got some lobs because it was like Luka and PJ in a pick and roll instead of PJ and Lively. Like, I think the Thunder made a better effort in this game to try to like not attack Derek Lively because they cannot score against him. But still, Lively still made his presence. I mean, he had 15 rebounds. 12 points, 15 rebounds.
He got called for a couple of fouls going for rebounds that were Tony Brothers specials.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, the tall guy is going up and grabbing rebounds. Holy shit.
He made his free throws.
Sorry, we got shout
out that tip.
I got to shout out that guy. We got a couple more tips. We got Jeremy saying Tony Brothers hot dog warrior. It's so funny. Do Dang saying happy birthday, Kirk. And shout out to Keith for an absolutely massive tip. He says, this is for a season's worth of entertainment. Thanks, guys. Man, Keith, you're the man. I can't even properly begin to thank you for that one, Keith.
I want to know what it was like watching a high-stakes NBA playoff game with your high school coach.
Really? I mean, look. I missed the last free throw I ever took on the home court. I'm 40, and I remember that. It prevented a perfect district season. And then I lost the last shot. I missed the last shot I ever took against Duncanville to go to advance in the playoffs, and they beat us in the last second buzzer beater. So, like, there's lots of like weird basketball emotions tied up watching something like that. But one of the things I've learned watching basketball over the years with people that I really enjoy, because there are some this is a weird thing to say a lot. Doesn't matter who is there, but there were a lot of people at my party that loved basketball from a like X's and O's, talking about a perspective. My high school roommate's here, and he was just talking to different people. And he's like, man, you have a lot of your friends know stuff about basketball. And it was pretty great to hear different opinions about what the Mavericks should or shouldn't do. And one of the things that everybody across the board kept circling back to was the fact that Jason Kidd did a hell of a job, like really hell of a job, made Kyrie feel comfortable, and we can't talk about that enough kind of contextually. Gave him a place to succeed. A number of people were wondering what got into Luka. I think one day we'll find out. I have a pretty good idea what happened to Luka, but it doesn't really matter. Somebody told Luka to shut the fuck up, and he has done excellent since. The technical foul that he got, I don't really have.
That's like the calmest he's ever been.
He was just like, "Look, you're wrong, and it's like, okay, whatever."
He's gotten away with way worse than whatever he did there. So they were just a little touchy on that one.
Right. So it's whatever. Tony Brothers, shout out Tony. Yeah. The Mavericks really did win 5 on 6 tonight. I'm not a refs guy. Tony just sucks. I don't even know what the free throw disparity was. What was it?
Mavericks had it was 24-17 Mavericks.
That's not too
attempts.
Bad. Yeah. That's not too bad. Mavericks maybe need to stop turning over the ball. Shout out to Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean they kind of stopped. I think Luka. Let me look it up because
Daman Rangula with a $5 tip.
Wow.
Daman is downstairs, so that's weird. He's at my house.
Yeah, Shadow Broker Kirk in full display, by the way, because we had a who's who of NBA media personalities at your party.
Whatever. We had a great time.
We had a great time.
It's fun watching sports live, and I just for those of you guys who joined the show here, just go find friends to watch games with. Like that was so much better than like me watching it by myself. Now
you would have gone nuts watching that by yourself.
Do I do those same things watching by myself? I cannot confirm or deny.
I can totally see you doing the charge call in the living room. Luka, and Mary's like, what the fuck are you
doing? Luka slid under him while he was in the air. I cannot believe he tried to do that. And then he tried to argue it. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You get mad at that call. I don't care.
I know. Well, so he had 7 turnovers, and I believe he had his 7th turnover sometime in like early in the 3rd quarter.
Ooh.
He didn't have any turnovers. I don't think he had any turnovers in the 4th. Maybe I can't remember, but I just know he cut the shit pretty early. There was I think there was one point where he had 5 assists and 7 turnovers, and he finished with 10 assists, 7 turnovers. So
that's pretty great.
And then they won the game. Like as soon as they cut the turnovers, they won the game for the most part.
The fact that so you talked about this earlier. Shay, SGA, who cares? Was not passing with his under teammates, didn't have faith in them. The Mavericks won in the 4th quarter in the final minutes. Yes. Luka Doncic was making the right pass to the right teammate who hit the shot.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yes, because it's the antithesis of like what we've been talking about.
We better talk about that on our NBA podcasts to people who do NBA podcasts, because I'm not interested in how the Thunder didn't do well enough. Because here's the thing: the Mavericks won 4-2, 6 games, not 7 games, not luck, not a coin flip. The Mavericks won. Who do you want to play next? Can I say no one?
Yeah, right? I'm going to sound crazy, but Minnesota?
I actually don't think that's crazy.
Because we've watched them play Minnesota this season, and there's just something about that matchup where I think the Mavericks feel comfortable.
So my friend Dwight, and then he records with SJ, who is a Mavs running back.
Oh, yeah, they're great. They're great.
They do the 21 Going on 77 podcast. Dwight has said, I don't think we can defend, meaning the Mavericks. I don't think we can defend Denver. And I think that's a great take. And he said, I do think we can defend Minnesota. So when you think of it from a defense point of view, which is not my natural inclination, just because the Mavericks don't play defense my entire life, I think when you roll back from that and you say, okay, can the Mavericks play defense? Can they do it? Can they put Ant in prison, relatively speaking, on a basketball court? Yeah, I do. I really think they can. Because the Mavericks have better defenders than the Nuggets.
They do.
The Nuggets are a better scoring team, but that's not really much of a question.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like in the Luka era, they always play better against, like, if it's a good team, they always play better against the bad offense, good defense team versus the good offense, bad defense team.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we, like, Miami, Minnesota, take your pick of any of those, like Orlando, who had, like, a top 5 defense, and they've played them very well. Like, anytime the Mavericks play against a team that has a really good defense but kind of an inconsistent offense, I feel like they play really well because, like, Luka, like, it's just hard to beat 2 supernovas on offense when the other team kind of struggles to score. Now, this version of Minnesota is scoring.
Yeah.
Like they're scoring.
Like Kyrie still can't score against Minnesota. If he can't score against the Thunder, I'm not sure he's going to score against Minnesota.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. But I don't know. Luka can control the game in a way that I don't know if any other player on Minnesota can do that. Jokic, think about it this way. If it's Luka versus Minnesota, we know who the best player in that series is. It's a little bit more of a toss-up with Denver, Dallas. Because of Jokic. So
for sure,
the respect.
And Jokic is better right now for me. He just is.
But he's got the reigning belt. He's the champ. He's the defending champ. So.
All right, almost under a half hour. Josh and I.
You want to enjoy your birthday?
Yeah, we are going to go enjoy my birthday. We got 2 more people to thank.
Yep.
Michael Scott asks a very good question. He says, "What happened the last time the Mavs beat Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs?" It's a really good question. Well, they won the title. So shout out to Michael Scott. Great question. And shout out to Bobby, who leaves us another tip saying, "I'm drunk, son." All right, guys. So am I.
That's how we end the fight. I'm
going to go post this to our various websites and have a good time with my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with Josh and I. Thank you so much for being a supporter of our show. We are eternally grateful for the kind of fans that we have here. We got one more tip. Holy goodness. Don't know what that
what? Is that an American?
No, I don't know what that dollar symbol is.
It's like, wait.
Nico Andrada says, "Let's go Mavs, okay. MFFL, and fan of Kirk from the Philippines."
Oh,
we like that.
Yeah.
My college roommate is here. He's from the Philippines. He's from America, but his parents from the Philippines. Nico, I don't know what that figure is, but I am really it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Aren't there a lot of Mavericks fans?
There are so many basketball fans. The Philippines is probably
yeah.
It's
because I looked at our site traffic and it's like the 4th most country we get traffic from is
that's
the
right.
Philippines.
Bryce C throwing in another one saying, "Amazing win tonight. Lucas' playoff aura continues to grow. He rises to every occasion. There's no ceiling with him." What a fantastic take. All right, Kirk and Josh, we're gonna go do something else involved. I'm gonna drink. Josh doesn't drink. He's a good guy.
No, I drink. I'm driving home. Buddy.
Yeah,
come on. I'm going to be safe.
I'm going to go drink.
You want to get me in an environment we could go one day, but not tonight. Not tonight. I'll take you.
Josh wants to put me in the basket. What do you say? He's going to pulse me up. He's going to drink a beer. He's going to elbow me in the face.
I got to drive home. I got to be safe. I got to be good.
Everybody be good.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Be good.
Go Mavs. See y'all later in the week.
Bye. Okay.
Whether you're a world-class athlete or a podcaster like me, we all understand the importance of mental and physical well-being and proper recovery for top-notch performance. That's why I'm excited that Unified Healing is sponsoring podcasts on the Blue Wire Network. Unified Healing is a new and super innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. If you haven't heard of the EE System yet, then you'll want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. Wherever you are across the globe, access to a center is easy and affordable. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifiedhealing.com/bluewire to learn more and find a center near you. That's unified, UNIFYD, healing.com/bluewire. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System.